been meaning to talk about this for a while. It's alien abductions. Now, this may seem wild, but I do believe in some alien abductions. You may think I'm crazy. I think you're crazy for not believing them. Good grief. So, please excuse me. I am a little ill. I'm sorry. It's really the best working up here. You know, I kind of like that milk speech video I did. So I kind of want to do like maybe one of these a week. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how long I stay committed to this, because I usually do it for 2 weeks and I drop YouTube again. You know, typical. But I have, for the alien abductions, I have a myriad of cases already lined up today. We have the Hill case, Travis Walton case, and the Whitley Schreier case. So we'll be talking about those 3 cases today, but let's get started on the Hill case. So, back in, I think, 1961, there's 2 people, they were driving, and they saw a UFO. Okay, there's more to it than that. So these 2 were driving, and while they were driving, they had been claimed to have been abducted by a unidentified flying object. Now, for some background, Barney, he worked with the post office, and Betty, these are 2, Betty and Barney Hill. Barney was a post office worker, and Betty was a social worker. They both lived in New Hampshire, whatever. They were coming back home from a vacation in Montreal and Niagara Falls. And they were driving around Route 3, and Betty had seen an object flying in the sky. She was like, "What's that?" So they pulled over, and she got her binoculars out. She looked at it, and it seemed to be flashing lights. Now, Barney had looked at it and said, "That's honey, don't worry, that's a commercial airplane," and they just kept driving. But they kept seeing the same thing throughout the night, and eventually, this craft decided to drop down on top of their car. Now, the usual person would be like, oh no, what now? I'm going to keep driving. But that's not what Barney did. He got out of the car, and he looked at it. And the last thing he really remembers is these 2 little, multiple little gray alien men. The Greys were looking out the window like, And Barney had stated that they had communicated with him. Does not say on Wikipedia, but what the form of communication was. But they had communicated with him, I'm assuming telepathically, to keep, let's actually get the exact thing here. They told Barney to stop moving and continue looking at him. After this, the complete brain fog here, they were continually driving down Route 3 like nothing had happened. Then they got home a lot earlier than they expected because there was time loss. They got home and they kind of kept quiet about it. And then Betty started having nightmares about little gray men walking her into the forest. So understandably, they got a psychiatrist to help them out. Dr. Benjamin Simon helped them out, and he put him through hypnosis and stuff. Now, about the missing time, because I like this idea of missing time. So they said they had lost about 2 hours of time in the span of getting abducted and getting home. They did their calculations and they found out, it seems as if we are ahead by 2 hours. So they had jet lag of 2 hours, for example. So then they just kind of talked about it. They kind of went public with it. And there wasn't really much more with this case. In conclusion, it was kind of the first big alien abduction case like this. It was the first real popular one. But that's really about it for the Betty and Barney Hill case. Now, going into Travis Walton. Now, Travis Walton was a forestry worker who had claimed to have been abducted by aliens in a state park in Arizona. The exact name was the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest. He was doing logging work in November 5th, 1975. On the evening of November 5th, 1975, Travis and his buddies were going to work, and all of a sudden a big beam of light had shot down on Travis, and he was taken up, and he was gone. So his buddies were like, oh God, we gotta get out of here. So they eventually left. And they came back, and he was nowhere in sight. Now, they had set up a find this guy investigation, and they couldn't find him. Now, 5 days later, he was seen 30 miles away from the abduction point at a gas station in Arizona. So we already have a weird thing. So a man working on trees in the forest. The UFO comes, beams him up, drops him down. All his buddies, ah! So they get out of there, they come back, the UFO's gone, he's gone, and he's missing. They set out a search party, he's missing. But then 5 days later, he comes back and is dehydrated, ill, sick, tired, and confused. Now, upon his refounding of life, his refoundation, now upon being rediscovered, he had undergone some psychiatric help, some hypnosis, a little bit of hypnosis, and he was like, oh, I remember it all. And what he remembered was the following. There was the examination room, the alien beings, the medical procedures, the machinery and lights, and his emotional state. Now, the examination room was a pretty big, it's an alien investigation room. You can't really say much about an investigation room like this. So that's kind of, done. Now, he was undergone a lot of medical procedures here, such as putting a transparent mask over her face and being poked by the aliens. Now, Walton had recovered a lot of strange machines and lights that he was very unfamiliar with these machines and lights on that airship, on the spacecraft, on the UFO. So he didn't really know what to make of it. Think of it like Revelation. He was using he was using adjectives, the closest things he could describe whatever he was looking at. Now, he was in a pretty bad, his emotional state was as follows. When he was on the craft, he experienced a very profound sense of just fear and confusion and not really wanting to be there. Some people have claimed that this guy was a fraud, it was a hoax. And some people say, the skeptics are like, well, it could have just been a hoax, mass hysteria, man. Could have been a pretty big hoax, man. And that was typically what the skeptics believe. There was a film based on Travis' experience called Fire in the Sky. I've not seen it. I really don't plan on watching it. Maybe. It came out in 1993, I believe. And that's really about it for the media and popularity side of things. But you're probably wondering, what is Travis's stance? What does Travis think about his own experience? Well, he has become a pretty big character in the UFO community. He says he believes it's happened. So that's really all you can really say about his stance. I mean, he lived it. What else can you say about it? So our last one is a guy who goes by the name of Whitley Strieber. He's an author of alien and horror stuff, but he was claimed he was abducted by aliens. And he wrote a book about this called Communion. So he had said to he first made contact with the alien beings on the day after Christmas in 1885. So, for the people who don't celebrate Christmas, December 26, 1985. In his book Communion, that he wrote about the events, which is said to be true, he was taken from his New York upstate cabin by the gray aliens, one night. That's really all you can really say about it. He was taken by the aliens from his cabin, in his upstate New York cabin. After he was abducted, he was said to undergone various medical experiments, and psychologically he was quite scarred from this experience. He did not like it very much. Similar to like everyone else here, he also went under hypnosis to relieve the memories of his alien abduction. And what he said was groundbreaking. He said that they would use their technology on him. Real good thing, Whitley. So yeah, the hypnosis, usually all these guys go for hypnosis. And how I see hypnosis is that you're paying some psychic to pretty much put his words in your mouth, because I feel like I've never undergone a hypnosis. I don't know how that stuff works. I'm not in that field. Nor do I have any interest. I feel like it's all bullshit. I'm just calling it here. It is. I feel like, to be fair, I am talking about alien abductions, and it's quite ironic of me to call other things BS when I'm already talking about alien abductions and acting like they are real. So take as what you will. But like all these guys, they go under hypnosis, and the guy's like, the aliens, they were doing work on me, man. So that's really all you can really talk about here. There's nothing much you can really say about the hypnosis stuff. This case kind of popularized the gray alien with alien abductions. I definitely have a photo like right here of a gray in the book cover of Communion. I'm in love with the look of not like literally in love, like I want to make love to this thing, like I love the look of it. of the gray alien. But that's really how it was affected in popular culture. Now, Whitley's stance was that, yeah, it happened, and I'm going to remain authentic, and I'll write more books about it. That's pretty much what he did. It's a big money-making scheme. Now, Whitley, you know, he wrote these books. He really popularized it all. Community came out in 1987. I don't know if I mentioned that, by the way, but that's very important for you listeners. So, Whitley had popularized the alien to the point of, yay, alien invasion, you know, stuff like that, goofy stuff. That's really all I can say about Whitley. Now, and for the end of today's episode, I don't know how long this video is going to be. I just have the camera running, and I'll edit as I need to. You should be seeing this on a Sunday when it comes out, but we'll see what happens. That's all I can really say about these guys. I will see you guys next week with whatever I want to talk about. Make sure to subscribe, please, and have a great and wonderful day.